What's up, good people? Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. Hope everybody has had a great week. Training camp is here. We are 41 days, actually, in about 20 minutes, we'll be 40 days away from kickoff of the 2024 season, and I'm just so happy it's here. In case you hadn't heard, today was a busy day because Tua got his contract, 4 years. Seems like 4 years is the new thing here. You know, teams always like to get longer years because they can have that number, stretch it out, and be able to do more things. And I think Dak Prescott was looking for like a 4-year deal anyway. But Tua signs his deal, 4 years, $53.1 million. And of course, Jordan Love signed his deal tonight, which works out to $55 million. Has more guarantees, I think, than anybody else's. So he's got that. And so now there's no excuses for the Cowboys to not get a deal done. You know what the market is because Dak is the one that's left, and maybe they played it right, where they can make Dak Prescott the highest paid, and it's not $60 million. So if it's say 55 and a half, so to speak, let's say it's 55 and a half, you're saving 4.5 a year. That's $18 million of cap space over the next 4 years you can save, and you know that's one way to look at it. Or here's the deal. At this point, you know what the market is for wide receiver. You know what the market is for your quarterback. If you really want to get these things done, there's no excuses now. There's no excuses. Dak, you know, they said was trying to play cleanup. At least that's what Mike Fisher was reporting. We don't know if that was the case. You know, we don't know if Dak was demanded $60 million or whatever. Well, $60 million maybe doesn't happen until next year. So now there is no excuses not to get these things done. So we can move past this, maybe create some cap space, and maybe bring in some other players. Now, interesting take here. One, this is Micah Parsons. Micah was actually doing some running back drills today. I hope we don't get to the point where we feel that we got to put Micah Parsons in the backfield, even though he was a running back in high school, a damn good one at that. Micah Parsons and the Malik Hooker situation. You'll remember Malik Hooker went on the Keyshawn Johnson show. I guess he's going to have maybe more time. I don't know if Keyshawn is going to be brought back on Undisputed or not. But on that podcast, he was talking to Malik Hooker and asking him what kind of advice he had for Micah Parsons. And he said, you know, if we're not able to stop the run and you're doing the podcast, maybe you ought to look at that. And allegedly they had talked and thought that it was squashed, but it doesn't sound like with Micah Parsons that he's over it. You know, as he kind of said, you know, we don't have to be friends to go out and win. You know, his thing is, I want to make sure everybody's got their playbook and their water bottle and everything else. And I'm kind of like, are you the water boy? But, okay, that was a little joke. But not necessarily have to be friends. And maybe what Malik said hit a little too hard home for him. And maybe he's got an even bigger chip on his shoulder. Maybe he's going to be out to have something to prove. I don't think that that's necessarily a bad thing. Sometimes the truth hurts, but sometimes it's exactly what you need to hear to do something better. And as my wife always says, when you know better, do better. When you know better, do better. And, you know, for his teammates to kind of say, yo, bro, you know, you're out here doing this, that, and the other. We know you're an incredible player, but, you know, maybe a little bit more might help all of us a little bit. I think that's what he was kind of saying, but it was also one of those questions that I don't think he was trying to throw Micah Parsons under the bus. But the way he took it, I don't know that it's going to be a bad thing. In fact, I think it's actually going to be a great thing. But then again, what do I know? I'm just a guy with a day job and a voodoo doll. I can't believe that tomorrow's already Saturday, and a week from Sunday, we'll be going out to California to training camp. And I can't wait to get there and see my Cowboys and see the players up close firsthand and see how they do. I'm especially looking forward to the preseason game against the Rams, but even more than that, the practice against the Rams. I think that that's going to be really the only chance that you're going to really see the Cowboys' first team going all out. Because, you know, in today's NFL, practice isn't like it used to be. We used to have two-a-days with a special team practice in between, and we wore all pads. Because I don't know if you've never been through a training camp with two-a-days, especially in high school, there's nothing like how your pads get in that smell that you just can't get out. But they get this kind of slimy feeling to them. I'm surprised we all didn't have staph infections and things. Because, you know, you get out there first thing in the morning, the grass has got the dew on it and everything. You're down there, you're getting your shoes all wet, your shoulder pads, and we had the mesh jerseys, so the water went in, and then it gets 90 degrees by the afternoon plus, and so you're sweating like crazy. But literally, you would put your shoulder pads on, and it literally felt kind of cold and wet when you put it on, and slimy. And the smell is something that you just will never forget. Now, in today's NFL, you only have 14 padded practices. So I don't think that this generation understands that slimy smell that your pads get, because they don't do that much in. I can even remember, this is how crazy things were. Even in spring football, Coach Krzyzewski called it spring brawl. We had 21 practices. And if you were able to make it through all 21 practices uninjured, you actually got a shirt that said, "I hit for 20." Yeah, I hit for 20. And that was like the red badge of honor that you made it through all those practices without getting injured. But today's football, it's a lot different, man. I just don't understand how you can practice for football without actually practicing football. But be that as it may, that's how it works today. But that scrimmage against the Rams will probably be about the livest action that the starters will have until week 1. Because you can't tackle. You don't really hit anymore. You got the bells on top of the helmets and everything else. And I'm not saying that that's wrong to do that, because football's a violent sport. And I know that my body, when I get out in the truck after being in it for more than a half hour, is screwed up from playing football. You know, some of the bones that have been broken and my ACL that's not there and everything else. It is a violent sport. And it is a good thing that they're trying to protect the players. I just miss some of the way it used to be. The final thing here, and I can't wait to actually see up close, is to see how Cooper Beebe is doing. He's working on his shotgun snaps, and he needs a lot of work on that. That may be his Achilles heel of becoming the starter for the Cowboys. Mozzie seeming to get close to the weight that'll be his ideal playing weight, somewhere between 310 and 315. Hearing that he's about 310 and looking and moving a lot better than he did last year. It seemed like he was too heavy to start with, and he lost too much weight, so he was too light. And when you lose 40 pounds, it shifts and makes everything a lot different. So hopefully we'll see him definitely stepping up and doing a lot of great things. I need to, tomorrow's going to be another day. I'm going to be on the road most of the day. And same thing with Sunday too. I'm going to be on the road a lot. I need to check and see how the Eagles are doing, but I'm hearing Jordan Davis, and it's only a few practices in, hasn't been looking really good. And there may be some problems on that Philly defense. As Game Time Brian said, they better score like 32 points a game or else they ain't going to win much. Can't wait till we actually get to games. I'm having a hard time keeping my eyes open, good people. That late night last night working at the church and then getting up this morning and getting back here. Whew. It was, when you're trying to hurry up and get someplace, it's always something that slows you down. And there was a brush fire on Interstate 81 in the media that shut down both ways of 81 for about a half an hour and did a bunch of construction. So it took about 4.5 hours to get here today, but I'm glad to be here and can't wait to go take a shower and to climb up under the covers with my baby and wake up next to her. I am truly blessed. Remember, good people, remember, life is short and life is precious. And you always want the people you love to know how you feel about them, because you might not get the chance again. And I love you guys. And God willing, we'll all see each other tomorrow. Peace out.